We're live here on the site with Uncle Leroy, the man, the myth, the legend. He caught a 50-pound catfish in here. What was that, 2 weeks ago?
No, last weekend.
Last weekend. Now we're beginning for the search for a DeMarcus Lawrence sack against the Eagles. It should be in the bottom of this here lake. Let's see what the offense will open up. The offense will open up. That's what Doug Peterson said. Doug Peterson is promising to be more aggressive. How much more aggressive can a guy like Doug Peterson be? A man who's already aggressive in nature. Put 8 in the box. Go ahead. Put 8 in the box. I dare you to put 8 in the box. I dare you. See, I'm looking at progression. I'm looking at the signs of maturity for Carson Wentz. I'm not even worried about Carson Wentz's health at this point. I'm looking at progression. I'm looking at the signs of maturity. When I say that, I mean, when you see 8 in the box, do you audible now? Do you audible when they bring 8 in the box? Do you hit Deshaun deep when they bring 8 in the box? Do you see that and change that play and deviate from going to your security blanket and Zach Ertz? Do you be more unpredictable? Those are the type of things that's going to take us over the top. And, you know, Doug wanting to be more aggressive is exactly what Doug's going to have to do. So being as though Doug wants to be more aggressive lets me know that Doug wants to come out swinging. We have the third easiest schedule. The third easiest schedule this year. Now, I know a lot of people going to say that don't mean nothing. The third easiest schedule. Let that sink in. We don't have a first place schedule this year, but we're a first place team. On paper, we're a first place team. We got a team full of champions. We got a team full of hungry people who want to be more champions. And we got some veterans sprinkled in who deserve to be champions as well. This is going to be a season to remember. It's going to be a real good NFL season. It's going to be a season to remember. It's going to be the season to where, you know, Cowboys man up and bet if you're going to sweep us again. Man up and bet that. Bet if you're going to do it again, because I don't think you're going to do it. The Philadelphia Eagles going to win they're going to win the NFC East. It's going to be way easier than what people think. Way easier. Way easier. I'm telling you, it's going to be way easier than what people think. Way easier. I had a Cowboys fan text me last night and tell me we got DeMarcus Lawrence. You already had DeMarcus Lawrence. You had him already. What do you mean you got him? We know what he brings to the table. No sacks against the Eagles in his life. In his life. Yeah, them other teams fear him, but we do pretty well against these quote-unquote big-name guys. Remember us shutting down Khalil Mack? You know, we step up. When we think somebody's smelling themselves on the other side of the ball, we step up and let them know, you know, you still got work to put in, young pup. Young pup. How you a tank, but you can't go through anything. And that anything you can go through is the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. Look, man, I can't wait for the season to start. You know, there's no way in the world that anybody can sit here and tell me that roster is better than the Philadelphia Eagles. There's only a few rosters that are better than the Philadelphia Eagles. Probably 2. There's only 2 rosters in the NFL that are better than the Philadelphia Eagles. 2. And it's hard for me to even tell you who those 2 teams are. We got a top 3 roster in the NFL. I think we're going to have a top 3 defense this year. All of our cornerbacks are healthy. You got one? My uncle just caught a fish. Let's see. You know I got it. You had one? Oh, damn fish, man. He bluffing. But yeah, how many rosters are better than ours? I'm talking about he got one. Anyway, took the bait and left him stinking. Come on, Uncle Leroy. How many people could really say that they roster better than ours? Not a lot. Now, the Cowboys roster not better than ours. The Giants roster not better than ours. The Redskins roster not better than ours. Simple. You want me to tell you why? Because none of their quarterbacks are better than ours. None of their defensive linemen are better than ours. None of their safeties are better than ours. It just goes on and on. They got key players. Everybody got key players. Everybody got key positions. But I just don't understand that when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles roster from top to bottom, then you look at the schedule being the third easiest, why wouldn't the Vegas odds be in our favor? That's logic. That's simple mathematics. That's the way you break down prediction properly before the season starts. Simple mathematics. You got a Super Bowl winning coach. You got a quarterback who played at an MVP level. You just got a new running back who everybody's sleeping on, by the way. I just don't understand how anybody could be sleeping on Jordan Howard at this point. How anybody could be sleeping on Jordan Howard. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. And it's a word for that. It's a word. Now, if you had facts, I would love the facts. Like people say, you know, his yards per carry went down each season. That's a fact. I love those facts. But they don't take into the account that he had a new head coach last season. They don't take into the account that Tariq Cohen was implemented and favored in the offense. They don't take those things into account. They don't take into account that he only ran the ball 20 plus or more times, 3 times last season. They don't take that type of stuff into account. So, yeah, you got to weigh out facts and you got to balance facts with reasoning. But they can't do that. A lot of people can't do that. Now, when I point out to you the fact that DeMarcus Lawrence has not recorded a sack in 9 games against the Philadelphia Eagles, what could you balance that against? He had 9 tries. He plays twice a year. What could you balance that against? What's the logical reasoning for you? Why? Tell me why that is. Tell me why that is. What is the logical reasoning? What can be the excuse for that? I'm not saying dude ain't a stud, but I'm saying our offensive line step up to the challenge. So him getting re-signed to us is not a big deal for us. For us. You already had this guy. He was already franchise tagged. So how are you beating your chest now? You already had him. It's not a new addition to your team. You know what he brings to the team. More money? Now he's under the pressure of having to prove it. You know what he brings to the team. You know what he brings to the table. He's that guy. He's that guy. Everybody is saying that the Philadelphia Eagles want to beat their chest because they just got a ring. Now, it's not everybody, because the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins, in my opinion, have been very classy champions. They've been classy champions. The New York Giants, up until the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, probably were the only team in the division that could even talk about championships as far as I was concerned. They've been very classy. The Redskins just been knowing their role and staying out of it. The Cowboys are saying we're beating our chests. Listen, nothing has happened good for you guys in a life sentence. That's a fact. One more year, it'll be 25 to life for y'all. That you haven't even gone to the NFC Championship game. That is the definition and the epitome of irrelevance. 3 playoff wins in 24 years. The only thing you can say to rebuttal that is we got 5 Super Bowls. That's the only thing you can say to rebuttal that. And shout out to the Cowboys fans who've seen the Super Bowls with the S on it. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all, man. It's nothing. Listen. You can't erase the past. You can't erase the past. But we can't keep reliving it either. What you gonna do in the present and what you gonna do moving forward? That's all I'm trying to say. What you gonna do in the present and what you gonna do moving forward? If it was 2 quarterbacks on the board, Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, who getting picked first? Be realistic with yourself, man. For y'all guys that like to say Dak is better than Carson. If it was 2 quarterbacks on the board, Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, who getting taken off the board first? Who's getting taken off the board first? Who? Who's getting taken off the board first? Don't lie because he wear your uniform about who's better. Don't do it. If Zeke Elliott was on the board and Jordan Howard was on the board, Zeke Elliott is getting taken off the board first. That's what you call honesty. You guys are delusional. Delusional and trying to say that Jordan Howard ain't a good running back. Delusional and trying to, delusional and haters and trying to say Carson Wentz is going to get hit. So like I said, again, Dallas Cowboys content creators, bet their jersey or bet some bread on a sweep.